Babes, and welcome to my book nook. For those that are new around here, the name's Rainy Blue. I teach music, I read books, I don't limit myself to one genre. I primarily read thriller, but I also love fantasy, romance, nonfiction, contemporary, all of that stuff. So if you're interested in that, subscribe. We do videos Sundays and Wednesdays. Anyway, if you are not new around here, then you know it is time for the one with my TBR. Woo! And you also know that since I have my camera back and it's fixed now, I don't actually have a wide lens, and so you're not going to be able to see me as much because my table is blocking in the way. And I don't know why my camera is not standing up straight, but it's annoying me. So it's fine. Anyway, this is my board. It is from Friends, themed from the game that they had in their trivia round. So we have stuff like Fears and Pet Peeves, which is thriller and horror, Ancient History, which is romance, Literature, which is historical fiction and literary fiction, and It's All Relative, which is sci-fi fantasy. And then we have the lightning round category with all sorts of prompts like phone a friend, nightmare prompt, and all that. What I have to say, I am drastically changing the game for September. And maybe you're like, what do you mean you're changing the game? This is what I mean. In case y'all didn't know, I am a mood reader through and through. I have discovered it. I want to pick up a book because it's speaking to me. I don't want to pick up a book because I feel like I have to pick up this book, and I feel like that's what I've been doing to myself and putting myself in a box all these months. But I didn't want to get rid of the game because I love the game and I love the Friends trivia. I didn't want to get rid of it. So I'm not getting rid of it. So what I did is I went through all of the prompts that I have, and I got rid of any prompt that I felt really put me in a box too much. Like if I was like, okay, that's going to be a very specific book, because I feel like when it has to be a very specific book, that's where I lose interest. Because I had 5 books to read, and y'all know I only read 1. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But I want to have more success with this TBR, but I want it to also feel like it's actually being mood read. So I got rid of any prompt that I felt didn't fulfill that for me. And then within each prompt, I think what I'm going to start doing is picking 2 to 3 books that I think could fit that prompt so that I have the choice where I don't feel like I'm stuck on one book. I have the choice to pick any of those books. And then if I don't pick any of those books and I pick a different book, that is totally also okay. So that's how we're going to roll with it. We're still going to do the 5 rolls, the lightning round roll for a 6th one. We're still going to do all of that. We're just going to mix up a little bit how I do it. And we're going to experiment and see if this works. And if it's a total dumpster fire, it's a dumpster fire. All right. Let's talk first, though, about the books I was supposed to read. So, I was supposed to read The Island by Adrienne McKinty. I did read that, and it was awful. It was a 2-star. I hated my experience reading that. I was supposed to read Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Marie Machado, which was a short stories collection, and I did start it, but I'm just not really in the mood to read that right now, so I don't know. I also was supposed to read My Dark Vanessa, and I didn't get to it. I do still really want to read this, but it was not high on the totem pole right now. And then I also was supposed to read There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. I didn't get to it. I still really want to read this, but I don't know. The fact that I had to read it made me not want to read it, like, you know? And then there was one other I was supposed to read, and for the life of me, I can't remember which one of these it was supposed to be. So, I didn't read it, in case you were wondering. But anyway, it's okay. We survived, and that's why we are going to try to do my TBR game a different way. And I'm going to see if I can actually get the board and you in the shot. Let's see. We're just going to go with that. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to start with my first roll, and I'm going to see what color I get, and we're going to see what prompt I get, and we're just going to go from there. Okay, so 28 is right here. It's under Fears and Pet Peeves, which is thriller and horror, which is good because I have a crap ton of thrillers that I want to get to soon. And it is a blue prompt. So let's see if these prompts are going to lend themselves to letting me mood read a little. Just watch it not work. Just watch. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh. Free freaking choice. Free choice. All right, we're starting off strong. I think I'm going to go over to my thriller book section that I really want to read, and I'm going to pick 3 thrillers that I'm definitely interested in getting to, and then that way if I get to one of them, we all good. Okay, so I chose 3 books that I definitely want to read soon, and so I know I'm going to read one of these, and we're going to be successful. So I picked Megan Golden's Stay Awake because I've been wanting to read this. She's also wrote The Night Swim, and I've never read that before. This one, I think it just follows, she wakes up in the back of a taxi with no idea how she got there, and then when she's dropped off at her apartment, A stranger claims to live in her apartment, and she reaches for her phone to call for help, and she discovers that it's missing, and all she has is a knife with scribbled messages, "Stay awake," and she's missing 2 years of her life. So it's an amnesia story. Sounds very interesting. I also picked up The Last to Vanish by Megan Miranda. I didn't really love Such a Quiet Place, her last book before this, but I'm still interested in trying again with her. My camera has been like really obnoxious lately with like not focusing. Anyway, this one is about a girl named Abigail. She manages this inn in the mountains of North Carolina, and a lot of tourists are drawn to it because there were 6 different visitors that have vanished without a trace over the past 3 decades, and then this journalist comes to investigate, and he disappears, and so it's like all about that. So that one sounds definitely interesting for sure. And then the last one I picked is A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham, and I picked this more so because I predicted this as a 5-star prediction for this year, so I kind of need to get to it soon, so I figured this might give me incentive. And so that's when Chloe Davis was 12, 6 teenage girls went missing in her town, and by the end of the summer, her father had confessed to the crimes and was put away. But 20 years later, that's happening all over again, and she's wondering if maybe her dad actually didn't do it, and the actual killer is still out there. So this one actually sounds really good as well. So I don't know which of these I'm going to get to, but you will, in my wrap-up, see that I read one of these, and I'm feeling much better about that already. All right, on to roll 2. Okay, so 25 is over here, and it is an It's All Relative, which is sci-fi fantasy, and it is an orange prompt. So let's see what I get from there. Wouldn't that be awesome if I got free choice again? That would slap. What are the chances of that happening twice? Nope. Choose from your physical TBR with your eyes closed for fantasy. Okay, so I'm actually going to do that in this section of my bookshelf where so I'm going to show you really quickly and then move you back. This is the bookshelf that I put all the books that I really, really, really want to read in the very distant future. And so there is a little section with a little section of fantasy. And so I'm not going to show you me picking because it would be too hard to set the camera up over there. But I'm just going to pick with my eyes closed from that little section and see what happens. Okay, wish me luck. Okay, I picked 2 with my eyes closed because, like I said, I want to have options. So the first one I picked is The Atlas 6 by Olive E. Blake, and I feel like this was already on my TBR at one point, and I still really do want to read this because I think the second one comes out soon, so maybe I'll actually get to it this month. But this one says it's about 6 talented magicians that are selected to earn a place in the Alexandrian society. Each of them have their reasons for accepting, but if it means growing closer than they could have imagined to their most dangerous enemies or unforgivable betrayal, they'll fight tooth and nail to join, even if they won't all survive the year. This one looks really cool. I really love like the pictures in this. I'm pretty sure the cover is also very stunning. So this could definitely be a contender. And then my other one that I chose was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, which this is also a 5-star prediction. So I probably should get to this soon, which means I probably should pick this, but we'll see. And this one just follows a girl, I believe named Addie LaRue, that she like makes a deal with the devil, and basically because of that, anytime she meets someone, as soon as they turn away from her, they forget who she is until one time that doesn't happen. And so it's like the story of, well, why was that case different? I'm not going to lie. I've heard that this book is great, but I've also heard this book is awful. So I guess I have to determine for myself. I've only ever read one V.E. Schwab, and that was Gallant, and it was just kind of mediocre for me. So I'm hoping that this is a little bit better than that. But those are my 2 options for that fantasy prompt. All right, on to roll 3. Alright, so 20 is another thriller and horror. Thank goodness. Fears and Pet Peeves. It's an orange again. So let's strike while it's hot. Alright. Didn't I already have that? Y'all are kidding me. I got the free choice in the orange color as well. I put a free choice in every color. Alright, let me go pick another thriller or horror that, is, you know, free choice. Sorry, my cat would not get out of my room. Okay, I picked 3 more. So, for the other one, I picked Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney because I have been interested in reading this for a minute. It's basically an And Then There Were None retelling. So after years of avoiding one another, Daisy Darker's entire family is going to Nana's 80th birthday party in this tiny tidal island. And then at the stroke of the midnight, a storm rages, Nana's found dead. An hour later, the next family member follows, so they have to figure out, like, who's doing it and why. Definitely intriguing. I also picked Ruth Ware's The It Girl because I've been wanting to read that for a minute, and I'm pretty sure I have to read that in September for Gabby's book troop anyway. And so this one is about April Clark was the first person Hannah Jones met at Oxford. The It Girl, she pulled Hannah into her orbit. They created a group of devoted and inseparable friends. By the end of the year, April was dead. A decade later, Hannah and Will, two of the people, are expecting their first child, and the man convicted of killing April has died. She's relieved to have put the past behind her. And then a journalist comes knocking and presents new evidence that he may have been innocent, and so she has to find out who actually killed her friend. Exciting. It'll be my first Ruth Ware venture, if I choose that. And then last but not least, I chose Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder. This cover just speaks to me. I've been wanting to read it, and so now I have a chance, hopefully. And so this one is about basically a mother that thinks she's turning into a dog. And that's really all I'm going to say about it. I don't know. The cover really spoke to me. I'm just intrigued. So I was glad I was able to put it on a TBR, possibly. All right. Roll 4. Okay. So 48 is historical fiction or literary fiction, which I've actually been collecting a lot more of literary fiction books. So I'm excited that made it onto the TBR. And it is a blue. So let's grab our blue prompts, which I don't have as many of because I got rid of a lot of the blue prompts. Read a funny book. I don't know what is considered funny, but I know the book that I want to pick because of the first sentence. And so I think I might pick that. But I'm going to pick 2 or 3. And then we'll go with that. Okay. I just picked one because I already knew the book I wanted to read as soon as I saw it. And I'm really glad that I made it onto a TBR. And that is just by looking at him, at Ryan O'Connell. Which, look at this. Love it. But the reason I thought this was funny is because this is the first paragraph, mind you. My boyfriend Gus has a beautiful penis. It's big and thick without being too big or too thick. It has the right number of pulsating veins when hard. The correct number is 2. It's not crooked or bent. It's not purple or pink. It's sun-dappled olive. I think that's a hilarious way to start a book, so I'm very excited about this. I believe it's about a guy named Elliot. He's 35. He's an overpaid TV writer, and he spends his days trying to impress his boss and outsmart his colleagues, but by night, he orders Postmates and drinks bottles of wine with his boyfriend Gus. And on the surface, his life is incredible because he's a disabled person with cerebral palsy. Everyone expects him to be grateful, but he's tired of being grateful. He wants to have more life experiences. So when he hears his boss bragging about a wild night with a sex worker, he's intrigued. And within days 2, he's spending $480 an hour for a sexy afternoon with an aspiring optician named River. And so it's all about that. And I'm very excited to read this. I've been wanting to read it for a minute. And so I think this is the perfect book to take as a funny book for literature. All right, let's move on to rule number 5. Okay, so 14 is also historical fiction or literary fiction, and it is a yellow this time, and I have a lot of yellow prompts, so let's see where we go with that. All right. Read a book with a person of color protagonist. I think I can definitely do that. I'm sure I probably can. So let me think on that for a minute. And I'll come back to you. Okay, I picked 2 for this, and we're going to roll with it. The first one is The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak. This one is really pretty. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while, so I'm definitely interested in it. But this one has a Greek Cypriot and a Turkish Cypriot, so those are our 2 main characters. And I think they have a forbidden love for each other. And then I can't really understand based off of this whole explanation. But you know what? It looks beautiful. So that is definitely a contender. And then my other option, which I've really wanted to read, is Memphis by Tara M. Stringfellow. This one just looks so fun. I know this is a family dynamics book. So I think it's about summer 1995, 10-year-old Joan, her mother and her sister flee her father's explosive temper and seek refuge at her mother's home in Memphis. And then as she grows up, she finds relief in her artwork. And I don't know. It's just basically a generational family story, I'm pretty sure, is what it's about. And it comes with different perspectives from the different characters. And it's not very long. Noelle from Noelle Reads read it and said it was fabulous. So I'm definitely interested in getting it to it. So those are my picks for that prompt. All right. Time for lightning round. All right. You know the drill. Basically, I read 5 questions. I have to get at least 3 of them right, or else I don't have to do another prompt, and we'll see what the prompt is going to be. But I am waiting for my timer on my camera to count down. I have 8 seconds left, and then I'm going to get started. And I don't know. I don't feel successful in this. All right, 3, 2, 1, here we go. What actress plays the part of Rachel's mom? No friggin' idea. When Rachel dated Joshua, he had a phobia of what? Oh no. spiders? While in London, which member of the royal family did Joey meet? I mean, he met Fergie. That wasn't, but she wasn't like I don't know. What was the name of Ross's second ex-wife? Second ex-wife? Oh, Emily. And then what did Ross and Rachel name their baby? Oh, Emma. Okay, let's see if I did it. Marlo Thomas. No. Farm birds. Oh, dang it. He was scared of the duck and the chick. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York. Well, Fergie, I mean, he called her Fergie. Does that count? I don't know. And then Emily and Emma. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Do I count that or not? Because it says Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York. But they called her Fergie. I don't know. I don't think I would count that. Alright, I guess I'm doing a lightning round prompt. Here we go. You couldn't see that, but I rolled purple, and I'm going to keep it on purple because I normally get green because there's 2 greens on here, and so I'm interested in seeing what purple is because honestly I forgot. So here's my board. Here's purple. Phone a friend. Oh, that's exciting. Okay. I don't actually have a bunch of my Instagram friends' phone numbers, so instead I'm just going to message one of my Instagram friends and say, give me a book. Okay, so I phoned a friend, and by friend, I phoned my book club, my local book club, and asked them for 2 books. And so they gave me... Alright, my son's gonna sit on me and eat a popsicle while I film this. Anyway, my friend gave me 1 book, and I was super excited that she gave me that, and then she said she changed her answer and gave me a book that I am not so sure about. And so I'm gonna put both on my TBR, read a little of both, and decide, but I have a feeling I already know which one. So the second one she gave me that I'm not as interested in is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. And this one says, follow a motley crew on an exciting journey through space and one adventurous young explorer who discovers the meaning of family. Rosemary Harper doesn't expect much when she joins the crews of the Wayfarer. While the patched up ship has seen better days, it offers her a bed, a chance to explore the far off corners of the galaxy, and most importantly, some distance from her past. I don't know. It just doesn't really sound like my vibe. But then she also gave me The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher, and I definitely wanted to read that. And that's about a young woman who discovers a strange portal in her uncle's house leading to madness and terror in this gripping new novel. Pray they are hungry. Kara finds these words in the mysterious bunker that she's discovered behind a hole in the wall of her uncle's house. And so it's about that. And I am happy to say I didn't want the US cover because the US cover is like this ugly tree. I wanted the one that had this skull on it and it was really pretty. I'll pop a picture up here. And I got it on Book Depository for $7. So it's on its way, but since it's coming from the UK, it won't be here for like 2 weeks. But that's okay. So I'm excited. I'm just going to probably borrow the other one from the library because your homegirl knows I might not end up loving that. But that's our pick for roll number 6. Now let's just check back in with where we ended up. So, we ended up with the person of color protagonist either being Memphis or the Island of Missing Trees. We ended up with my first batch of thrillers either being A Flicker in the Dark, Stay Awake, or The Last to Vanish. We ended with my funny literary fiction being Just by Looking at Him by Ryan O'Connell. We got a fantasy blind TBR pick with either Atlas 6 or Addie LaRue. And then we got another thriller selection with Night Bitch or Daisy Darker or the It Girl. And then we ended with either The Hollow Places or that other book that my friend recommended. Which means there are a bunch of books, oh dear God, on this TBR that I could potentially read. But I'm feeling 100% better about all of my selections. So you know what? It's a good day as I drop them all. So now we're going to finish this video with me just telling you other books that I plan on reading anyway in September. And then we'll finish strong. So like I said already, I'm actually going to be reading Ruth Ware's The It Girl regardless, which is why I picked that. Because not only is Gabby doing it for hers, but I'm pretty sure Kayla is doing it for hers as well. The It Girl, so I'm definitely reading that. And then Haley has not picked hers yet. She always picks at the end of the month what we're going to read for the following month. So I'm not really sure what we're going to be reading yet for that. The other book that I'm going to be reading for my local book club is, let me find it. My brother checked out some books on mine. Is The Body in Question by Jill Cement. I don't know very much about it. This is its cover, if it'll focus. It might not. And I don't know very much about it, but it looks super cute, so we'll give it a try. So I'm definitely going to be reading that. I'm going to be carrying over this book for the 3rd month in a row, and it is not because I don't like this book. I very much like this book. It's just taking me forever to read, and that is from Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I am now about halfway through it, and I'm still really enjoying it. I'm just prioritizing other books over it, and I need to stop doing that. But this is going to be carried over as well. The last book that I'm going to say that I'm going to devote to right now is probably The Measure by Nikki Erlich, because I've been hearing nothing but great stuff about this, and it's definitely been on my radar. And this one is about people opening their front door, and there's a small wooden box, and it has like this string in it, and the string is different lengths, and it basically determines the number of years you're gonna live, and like what people do once they get that string. And so this one, I don't know. It's just speaking to me. I'll definitely probably get to it. But those are the only books that I'm going to commit to currently, outside of the ones that I already committed to make this little stack. So, with that being said, I have a lot of books that I want to get to. My son is being a little loud, so I'm going to have to go. But let me know if this version of the TBR game spoke to you, if you liked it more with me being able to mood read a little bit more. I know I did. I'm hoping to be a lot more successful and actually like have like 5 or 6 books that I actually read for you in October's like TBR and September's wrap up. So anyway, I'm going to let you go, and my little dude is going to come draw on me, and so he's going to say bye to everyone. Say bye.
Bye.
All right.